So why did I choose to homeschool my child who has ADHD? Well, given C-19 and the pandemic that ensued, followed, whatever, there are a lot of reasons as to why we chose to homeschool. I was homeschooled my whole life, just to back up a bit, from grades K to 12. My parents never gave me the option to go to public school, even though I begged. Even at grade 10, 11, 12, please, Mom, let me go to school. I want to get a diploma. I want to be part of a sports team. I love sports. I played basketball, volleyball, baseball. I loved baseball. But I was never allowed to play on an organized team. And I really, really hated that fact. And even looking back is something that still to this day, I'm still trying to, I wouldn't say I'm trying to get over it. I'm just trying to not be bitter or resentful over that aspect of my childhood. So that was a big reason for me not to homeschool my son. However, given C-19 and the pandemic, that definitely changed my mind and James' mind quite a bit, because who wants to homeschool one child? How are they going to be socialized? How is he going to be successful as an adult? How is he going to flourish in the world that's going to be his as an adult? Well, the socialization aspect, number one, with C-19, Dexter also has asthma. And when he has an asthma attack, it's coughing. And what do the schools have the rules for? Well, coughing. It didn't matter if we wanted to rapid test him every morning before school. It didn't matter if I had a doctor's note stating that he has asthma that causes, it's a coughing asthma or something. I don't know. I can't remember the exact medical terminology for it. The particular school that we're a part of, or we were a part of, refused. They said as long as he's coughing, he is not allowed at the school. And if he had any sort of cold symptoms, nope, you had to wait, I think it was 48 hours, might have been 4 days. I've got the number 4 in my brain right now, so I'm not positive without actually looking at my paperwork, and I'm too tired to look at that right now. So he wasn't getting socialized anyway. And on top of all of that, the whole, we're doing at-home learning for this semester or at-home learning for this year. And it was just, there was no socializing happening anyway. So that excuse, if you will, of mine was completely thrown out the window through the C-19 pandemic. So there was that. But then his particular class was a split class. So one teacher would teach in the morning and the other teacher would teach in the afternoon. And the morning teacher, she was teaching math. Now math does come a little bit more difficult for him. He needs a lot more one-on-one. If something is difficult for him, he kind of shuts down and he becomes very emotional. And I mean, teachers nowadays, they have 20 plus students. We are in a massive shortage of EAs right now, education assistants that will help with kids who have any sort of learning disabilities or physical disabilities. And it just wasn't, I'm not going to apply for an EA for him. That was a suggestion that was given to me by a principal or vice principal, I won't specify which. But it was like, oh, you can try and, apply for an EA. I can't. I have friends and know people who are having such a hard time getting proper support systems set up for their children who are nonverbal or have physical disabilities or both. And it's just, yeah. So there was that aspect. And he was also having issues or problems with sitting still on the bus. And he's on medication for his ADHD. And I'm not going to give him more than what my doctor prescribes for him, just because the school needs him to be a certain way. Now on the bus, I understand it's a safety thing. He's got to be able to sit still and. But there's only the poor bus driver. She was the only adult on the bus. And I'm not going to, I can't, it's not reasonable to expect her to have a handle on every single child on her bus while she's driving. That's just dangerous and stupid for me to expect that as a parent. So that was another very big reason. And he was on the verge of getting kicked off the bus. And if you get kicked off the bus, then there's a whole process. You have to go to the school board and you have to apply, and it's just, but be that, all of that rolled into one. James and I, we talked about it, and I was already torn during the kindergarten year with him. Now, we pulled him out last year, right after spring break. Here we have spring break the last full week of March. No, it's the last week of March. And sometimes it'll include a little bit of the, first bit of April or what have you. But the most heartbreaking thing for me as a mom was the fact that they had sent out, because everything was online as far as the parents, because we were not allowed to attend Christmas programs and concerts and that kind of thing. And something that broke my heart and I bawled was when I received a not well thought out video message, and it was the Christmas concert that the kids in my son's then grade 1 class had put together, and he wasn't in it because he wasn't allowed to be in school that entire week because he had a cough. There was no C19 in our home. We had been testing. There was nothing. But because he had asthma, something that afflicts literally thousands of children all year round, because of C19, that was an excuse for him to not get an education, for him to not be able to hang out with little kids his age, for him to not be socialized and to learn from other adults that are not his mom. And I couldn't do it anymore. I talked to James about it, and initially I had thought I would start only this last September for grade 2, but we were done. I pulled him. He was not sleeping at night, and it didn't even clue in until after we had started the homeschool process that he started sleeping at night. And he was just so stressed because every morning we wouldn't know day to day if he was going to be going to school or not. If he woke up and had a cough, he wasn't allowed to be in class that day. If he went outside during recess and came inside and the cold air made him cough, they called me to come pick him up. What life is that for a kid? So just in general, it was just a mishmash of a few different things. ADHD, sensory seeking, when he would be playing games with the other kids, if they'd be running and playing, he'd shove another kid, and with the force that he physically didn't realize how hard he was pushing. And I would get messages from the teachers, and it would be in a positive light, but just to let me know what had happened. But he physically didn't know, because he could be pushed with that same force and it wouldn't affect him at all. And it's just, coming to that realization that this is something that is better for my child was massive for me. And as soon as we made that plunge, he's been happier, he sleeps well, he is very smart, and he excels in everything. Math is still a challenge for him, but I think he enjoys homeschooling. And he finished science. He was doing science while I was recording this video. So, yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Don't be afraid to homeschool. Love you. Don't be afraid to homeschool your kid. It's worth it. And I will get into the curriculum that I am using for him that's working for us. Not every kid's the same, but that's just kind of a tidbit and a very, I know I talked a lot, but I still didn't tell you everything. And there is more to our story, and we'll just keep telling it as the days, weeks, and months go on. But I hope you guys are having a great day, great week, and just keep on going. Love ya.